Welcome to the MR Workspace examination workflow and user interface demonstration. In this video, I will introduce the examination workflow and show you the features of the user interface. When the system is configured with a single monitor, this is what I see when I first log in. In the top left corner, there are two buttons. One provides access to the patient directory, and the other button displays the patient dashboard. The patient directory is where you manage patient data. In the patient directory, there are multiple tabs. To view all patient data, I click the All tab. In this view, I can select a patient or scans to review. And I can export the patient or scans to PACS or another network node. I can right-click in the patient directory to display the context menu, where I see options to manage patient data. To close the patient directory, I click the Close button. The patient dashboard shows the previous patients that have been scanned, the current patient, which is the patient that is currently in the scanner, and the scheduled patients for the remainder of the day. When the MR Day Manager has been configured, the patient dashboard shows additional information from the hospital information system, such as patient arrival status and patient safety information. To manually enter a new patient, I can click the New Patient button. I am not going to enter a new patient now. Instead, I will select a patient from today's schedule. Kevin Nee is my next patient. I click on Kevin's name, and the Prepare screen opens. Kevin's name displays in the main toolbar. This patient's data is retrieved from the RIS system, so I only need to enter some of the patient details. Next, I select the exam card for this examination. The exam cards are stored in the hospital database. There is a folder for each anatomy. In the knee folder, there is an exam card that is called Knee Left. When Preview is enabled, I can click on an exam card and preview its contents. To select this exam card for this specific patient, I click the plus sign icon. Once I've done that, the exam card appears in the exam overview. The exam overview contains all the scans in the exam. We'll look more closely at the exam overview in a few minutes. In the exam setup pane, I can change the patient position and orientation using these buttons. I can also set the anatomy, anatomic region, laterality, and other settings if needed. For this exam, the patient is positioned feet first. When the preparation tasks are complete, I click Start Exam. The Plan tab opens. Now, I position the patient in the magnet. Once the patient is in position, I can continue with the exam. The first scan is a survey scan which doesn't require any planning. It has the ready-to-run status. I click the Start button to start the scan. When the images are reconstructed and available, they display in the Plan Scan viewports where I can plan my next scans. But first, let's look at the Plan Scan environment. The Plan Scan layout has 6 square viewports. The left 4 viewports can be enlarged to a single viewport with a double click. The right 2 viewports can be enlarged to single height with a double click. This is useful when you plan whole body or total spine examinations. The exam overview contains all the scans in the exam card. Each scan item displays the scan name, geo name, and scan duration. The second row of icons displays scan properties such as scan status, SAR warnings, archive status, geolink, propagate coverage, repeat pre-scans, laterality information, and table movement. If needed, a third row of icons displays items that require the MR operator's attention during the scan. For example, icons for pause before scan, manual start, contrast injection, and breath hold display in the third row. If I am unsure of an icon, I can hover it to display a text label. To display options for modifying a scan, right-click the scan to display the context menu. A small toolbar is available in the header area of the exam overview. In this toolbar, I click the thumbnail icon to display a representative image of the imaging series. The More Options menu provides quick access to functionality and information. I can show or hide the post-processing steps for all scans in the exam overview. I can also click on the post-processing step on the scan to show or hide it. If I need to add additional scans to the exam overview, I click the plus icon. I can also use the search box here to enter the name of a scan or exam card. I can browse or search the protocol database for a scan or exam card. I will choose to filter my search by scan. When I find the scan, I click the plus icon to add it to the exam overview. I plan the second survey on the knee joint. And click Accept to accept the planning, and then start the scan. I double-click the PD-weighted 3D scan to open it. At the bottom of the screen in the Plan tab, there's the Scan Dashboard. The Scan Dashboard provides a summary of important scan parameters for a scan. It shows the scan name, geoname, duration of the scan, number of slices, resolution, orientation, and relative SNR. There's also information about the echo time, repetition time, fat suppression, SAR, and PNS level of the scan. Here in the Scan Dashboard, I can change the number of slices. I can also change the number of slices here in the viewport. To do this, I click and drag the border of the imaging stack to make sure the knee is covered by the stack. In the dashboard, I can also change the resolution. And when clicking on Relative SNR, I can change the NSA and the compressed sense reduction factor of the scan. If other parameter changes are needed, I click the Advanced Parameter icon. Advanced Parameters display the scan parameters available for this scan. When first opened, the Advanced Parameters window is docked in the lower viewports. I can click this icon to undock the window to make it a floating window. I click the same icon to dock it again. When I have finished the scan planning, I click Accept to confirm the changes. Now that these scans are planned and ready to go, I click the Start button. While these scans are ongoing, I can continue planning the coronal and transverse scans. I can reorder my scans by dragging and dropping the scan to the correct place in the exam overview. Now, all my scans are planned, and they will run automatically because the Auto Continue option is enabled. On the right side of the screen is the Exam Dashboard. In the Auto View window, I can monitor the reconstructed scans. When I double-click the Auto View window, it automatically docks in the lower right viewport. When I click the float icon, the window undocks and I can move it around. I click the Dock icon to redock the window. I click the Close button to close the window. The Exam Dashboard provides information and controls for patient safety, including SAR and SED levels, ventilation controls, and auto voice tools. If physiology devices are connected, I can see their display here. I can change the settings using the context menu. When auto voice is set to manual, I can control breath hold instructions using the controls in the exam dashboard. And here at the bottom, I see the progress of the scan and the progress of the examination. Still about 11.5 minutes remaining. Also, I can start, stop, and pause scans using the controls in the exam dashboard. All these scans are also marked for archive. Auto export can be configured to send all series or only the marked series to PACS or a network node when the scan is completed. When auto export is disabled, I can wait until the exam has finished and archive the results at the end of the examination. But if somebody is waiting for the results, I can also click the Archive button during the examination. In this exam card, all scans have the Mark for Archive flag, which means all scans will be archived. In the exam overview, the light blue status bar indicates the scan progress, and the dark blue indicates the reconstruction progress. The last scan is completed. The acquisition has finished. Reconstruction is complete. I can review my images in the viewports of the Plan tab. To do this, I drag and drop them from the exam overview to a viewport. I can also open the inline post-processing step and review those images. I am happy with my results, so I click Release Patient. This indicates to the system that the patient is no longer in the scanner. I then remove the patient from the scanner. Let's have a look at the Review tab. By default, the Review tab contains 6 viewports. The exam overview is displayed on the left side of the screen. I can click the Show Hide button to hide or redisplay it. The toolbar in the Review tab provides quick access to the review tools. I can hover a toolbar icon to view its function. I can right-click a viewport to display the context menu for that viewport. Images are automatically loaded in the viewports after the scan is complete. I can also manually drag the images to the viewports. Viewport images are linked for zooming and panning. To unlink them, I click the Unlink button. When I click the window link, I can also link them for window levels. It may be helpful to change the layout of the review viewports. In the Review toolbar, I click the Layout icon. It may also be helpful to change the viewport size and layout. I can maximize a viewport for easy viewing. To do this, I click the Maximize button or double-click the viewport. To redisplay multiple viewports, I press the Escape key. When a scan has multiple image types and I want to review one image type, I right-click the image and select Inner Layout. To revert back to the default display, I right-click and select Auto Layout. Each viewport has a menu bar. Here I can select a slab, 3D, Ortho View, and Picture Plus Package. In MR Workspace, MPR, MIP, MinIP, and volume rendering are done with the slab and 3D packages. I'm happy with all the results, and there is no need to perform any post-processing or printing, so now I can click Complete Exam. This signals to the connected systems that everything has been done, including archiving, printing, and any advanced post-processing. Clicking Complete Exam does 2 things. First, it triggers the export of any remaining scans that still need to be sent to PACS. The second thing that Complete Exam does is indicate to the connected RIS and PACS systems that the examination is complete by sending an MPPS message. After clicking Complete Exam, the patient dashboard automatically displays. The patient I just completed is now shown as a previous patient. I have just demonstrated the complete workflow of a patient exam using the MR Workspace interface. With MR Workspace, I can add additional scans to the same study after I have completed the examination. To do this, I click the patient dashboard. I select the patient and click Append Exam. The patient examination opens with the previous scans still in the exam overview. At this point, I can add new scans to the study and run them. When finished, I click Complete Exam. With MR Workspace, I can add a new study to the same patient. For example, I want to scan a right knee joint after scanning a left knee joint. To do this, I open the patient directory. Right-click the patient and select New Study for Patient. The patient opens with the same patient details. The exam overview is empty. To start a new study, I add an exam card to the exam overview and complete the exam. Next, let's look at how you can prepare patients in advance. While scanning this patient called Lester L. Spine, I can also prepare the exams of scheduled patients. In the upper left corner, I click the patient dashboard icon. I click the next patient, Bailey Brain. The patient details are retrieved from the RIS and displayed in the Prepare tab. The exam dashboard for the current patient always remains visible. The blue bar indicates that this is the current patient. I can see the remaining scan and exam time, and I can click the maximize or minimize icon in the top right corner to toggle the display. To finish preparing the Bailey Brain examination, I enter the patient details and select the exam card. When I have finished preparing the brain examination, I click Close Patient. In the patient dashboard, I can see the icon that indicates this patient is prepared. I can continue to prepare more patients on today's schedule, or I can review previous patients. To review a previous patient, in the patient dashboard, I click a patient and view the exam images. When I am finished, I close the patient and the current exam displays. My current patient scan is just finishing, so I will release this patient and remove the patient from the scanner. To complete the exam, I would click Complete Exam. But before I do that, I would like to show you a few more things. To save a current exam card, in the Exam Overview toolbar, I click the More menu and select Save Exam Card. I enter a name and click Save. The exam card is saved in the Saved folder, where it can be modified, copied, and renamed. For post-processing, there are also two Analysis tabs, Analysis 1 and Analysis 2. These contain the analysis applications needed to perform advanced post-processing. Only analysis packages appropriate for the scan are available in these tabs. When an analysis package is selected, the tab name changes to the package name. I can run up to 2 analysis packages at the same time in these tabs. The last tab is the Print tab, used for filming. In the top right corner of the main toolbar, I can access the System Status, the Job Viewer, where I can review the status of image transfer and processing, the Message Center, the date and time, the Settings menu, and Help Topics. Now that I have finished all activities for this patient, I click Complete Exam. Thank you for watching this demonstration of the examination workflow using MR Workspace.